Hi, my name is Rick Griskie. I'm president of digital marketplaces at Car Global. Thank you so much for attending this virtual session on bridging the digital divide. To be honest, presenting while sitting down, staring into a computer monitor and webcam feels very odd to me. I'm much more comfortable pacing around a stage with a live audience with the ability to entertain questions in an interactive manner. But in our socially distanced world, this format will just have to suffice. For me and Car Global, we've been focused on bridging this digital divide in the dealer space for long before social distancing was a thing. In today's world, following a vibrant digital strategy for acquiring inventory is not just important, it is absolutely critical. At least 40% of the businesses will die in the next 10 years. Wow, that is quite a powerful and quite ominous quote from a very prominent digital leader. 40% of all businesses will fail? Really? Wow, eye-opening. The good news is that by your participation in this session, you clearly want to be part of that 60%, that will not only survive, but will actually thrive. In fact, I bet we all want our businesses to be thriving and relevant, not only today, tomorrow, but also a decade from now. But to do that, we must not only invest in, but we also must embrace the digital transformation that is happening in our industry. It's not how big you are or even how experienced you are. It's how fast you can adapt that really counts. It's how you pivot and provide your customers with solutions that reflect the way they want to transact and make decisions in this new 100% digital, socially distanced world. And how you pivot to acquire the vehicles that your customers want and at a profitable price point. And like bell-bottom jeans, I don't think the old way of acquiring inventory is going to come back anytime soon. About a year ago, right, little less than a year ago, December of 2019, 70% of all companies either had a digital transformation strategy in place or were actively working on one. Last month, August of 2020, that number grew to nearly 100%. We all recognize that having a digital strategy and quite frankly, adopting and enacting digital practices was required to stay in business. It didn't matter if you were a car dealer or the restaurant around the corner. Having a digital strategy is required to stay in business and actually thrive. Hopefully you all have a digital strategy in place. And my goal for this session and our time together today is to provide you with information that you can use to enhance that strategy and allow you to be a thriving part of that 60% of the businesses that are going to excel in this new digital world. As an industry, we have persevered and have moved very quickly to adapt to this changing landscape. Here's what Jim Hallett, Chairman and CEO of Car Global, the parent company of ADESA, TradeRev, AFC, and many other brands that you're familiar with, had to say about the digital transformation that is underway in our industry, automotive remarketing. Since the pandemic started back in March, we have proven that millions of vehicles can be sold more efficiently, more effectively, and most importantly, more safely through a digital experience, a digital marketplace. I agree 100% with Jim. This digital transformation is fantastic for our industry, and the benefits go well beyond safety, much, much further than just safety alone. Right? We are roughly 6 months into this nearly 100% digital environment, and what we are seeing and quite honestly measuring are tremendous benefits. We as an industry are measurably buying and selling more efficiently and more effectively. How is this so? Why is this happening? Got a couple important drivers of that. Starts with more reach. Buyers are accessing inventory from more states on a daily and weekly basis than they ever could have via attending physical auctions, right? As we all know, most buyers have historically been very geographically constrained and conditioned, right? Their habits were formed. Pre-COVID, the typical dealership, the typical buyer purchased in person from on average just over one physical auction. However, as the pandemic occurred and in this new digital only environment, these same buyers are now on average purchasing vehicles from approximately 3 different physical auctions on average, right? That is triple the geographic reach that they had previously. What we are seeing now is that buyers are digitally reaching out to and virtually attending new auctions in different states, areas that they quite frankly didn't feel they had access to before. As an illustrative side note, our Indianapolis auction is currently selling to buyers. Notice I said buyers, not bidders. Actually buyers from 24 different states. That is some impressive geographic reach for that one individual auction in Middle America. Those of you that also sell at auctions should appreciate that phenomenon has a dramatic increase in the number of eyeballs viewing your vehicles and the number of bids that you're receiving on those vehicles, right? This reach is creating a more vibrant marketplace that benefits buyers and sellers alike. And this reach is virtually unlimited. The only constraint is your personal preferences and comfort level, right? You could be buying vehicles 24/7 from across the country. This reach results in more access, right? It's giving buyers access to more and more vehicles, right? Because the buyers are no longer constrained by geography and drive time, they're getting more comfortable with the digital experience. They are cherry picking inventory from auctions across the country. Pre-COVID, pre-digital transformation, the average dealership was accessing approximately 600 or so vehicles when they were purchasing in person from that approximately one location that I referenced earlier. That is now tripled, right? And they're now participating in 3+ auctions, right? They have access to thousands of vehicles. They're reviewing thousands of vehicles every week to make their purchasing decisions, right? This reach, this access also can result in more opportunity, right? Because as you go through this digital transformation, right, going from participating physically at those physical auctions to participating digitally at those physical auctions, you're becoming more and more used to and accustomed to purchasing digitally. I would encourage you to strongly explore those other digital venues, those other digital sales beyond just a digital version of a physical auction. There's venues like a Trade Rev. Participate in Dealer Block and Dealer Block Prime, which are more bulletin board type of sales like an eBay on ADESA.com and the other platforms out there, right? Expand your horizons. Look at different venues for acquiring vehicles. Leveraging these digital platforms and these broader physical auctions, you literally have access to tens of thousands of vehicles a day, 24/7. You don't need to be limited to the weekly sales at your physical auction locations, even if you've expanded to 2, 3, 4, 5 physical auctions, right? Look at these other digital opportunities, tens of thousands of vehicles available 24/7, many of which have a buy now price, right? You could go in, find a vehicle, and buy it now, and then arrange for your post-sale process and arrange to have it delivered to your dealership. All right, Rick, you've got me interested. You've piqued my interest, right? This digital buying seems quite appealing, quite interesting, right? How does it differ? How does it compare to in-lane buying? Quite frankly, the shift from in-lane to online doesn't need to be difficult or radical. In fact, the two are quite actually very similar and offer comparable, if not a better buyer experience on digital. The preparation is nearly the same for a digital or an online purchasing as it is for in-lane, right? You run your safe searches, you preview your run lists, right? You just do that online. You convert those vehicles from your safe searches and your run lists into a watch list or your shopping list. You go and you perform your research on those target vehicles, right? You review the condition reports, you check the damage photos, you check the book values, and you establish your pricing strategy, right? So far, it's not any different, right? You're still doing that same type of upfront research and sales preparation, right? You can even, in this virtual digital world, you can still go to mini auctions, kick the tires, preview the vehicles. I know for a fact that as of this recording, ADESA offers previews at all 74 of our locations, and most of our competitors are doing the same, right? But now is where the two experiences diverge, right? In lane, right, you would be standing in the lane watching the vehicles go by and making your bids, right? With this digital process, I believe it's much improved over the in-lane process. You bid on cars using one of your screens, whether it's your desktop computer, your laptop computer, your tablet, or your mobile phone. Instead of standing in the lane, you're now bidding from anywhere that's convenient for you. Your kitchen table, your home office, your dealership, the local Starbucks, wherever you are comfortable, wherever you have internet and Wi-Fi access, you can be purchasing cars, right? The benefits are the increased reach. You can be monitoring significantly more lanes at the same time as compared to an in-lane experience. The other benefit is, as these sales are going on these digital platforms, you can be checking condition reports with a simple click from your run list or a simple click from your watch list as the auction is underway, right? We all know we have a great strategy going into the day, what vehicles we want to buy, how much we want to pay for those vehicles. But once again, conditions change rapidly. We didn't win as many vehicles as we thought early on, right? The pricing is much higher than we thought early on. Allowing you to change your game plan on the fly is one of the significant benefits of purchasing digitally. All of the information is at your fingertips with the click of a button, the click of a mouse. And then once you win, it's just as easy, right? You can easily do all of the title work, all of the post-sale processing, financing, arranging transport online or over the phone without having to stand in the line at the counter at the various auctions, right? So hopefully by going through this list, you can see that the digital experience isn't that much different than the physical experience, especially up front. And quite frankly, it can provide you tremendous benefits where the differences exist. What are the benefits of the online auctions, right? So digital participation saves you time and adds significant convenience to the day. It also significantly increases your reach by providing you access to significantly more vehicles from different auctions, different venues, different days of the week. These digital tools allow you to participate in an unlimited number of lanes. You can remotely monitor them and participate in them in real time, right? Bidding real time. You can also participate virtually through the use of proxy bids, right? You can set alerts to notify you when you've won, when you're being outbid, when your watch list vehicles are approaching the block. I encourage you to get familiar with these digital platforms and tailor them to your specific needs. And as the leader in the industry from a safety perspective, I want to make it a point to mention that without running cars in the lanes, we avoid accidents for both our customers and our employees, dramatically increasing the savings and the safety at the auction, as well as reducing the commute time, reducing the number of cars on the road, and all of the risks associated with the travel time to and from the auctions. If you think about it, these radical changes are really radical advantages. And the advantages go on and on and on, well beyond what I could cover on a couple of short slides. All right, Rick, you've got me interested. How do I go about finding the best deals and purchasing those vehicles online? Well, first of all, I'll go back to it, and I know I sound a little bit like a broken record. Remove those geographic restrictions, right? Digital auctions allow you to find whatever you're looking for, wherever it exists in the country. It gives you maximum reach, maximum flexibility to find the best cars available that meet your specific needs, right? I'll be honest, the shift from reviewing run lists for a few auctions to searching tens of thousands of vehicles from a large geography can be a bit intimidating. The great news is that these digital platforms have outstanding search capabilities to really help you to cull those tens of thousands of vehicles down to the handful that you're interested in for your store, right? It's a simple multi-step process. Step one is defining what you value and setting up the associated saved searches. Know specifically what you're looking for and what your end goal is. Define your search parameters, define your buying strategies, right? Are you focused on a specific year, make, model, price point, mileage, condition, key features, geography, right? The parameters and the filters are extremely robust. Do you want to include vehicles from certain sellers or exclude vehicles from certain sellers, right? Really think through what you value, what your buying criteria is, and create these searches, right, that result in a search results and a watch list or a shopping list. Once you get your shopping list or your watch list, review the condition reports, right? Look at the images, look at the damages, ensure that you are comfortable with the damage description and that it aligns with the picture, right? We've all seen heavy scratches that can be buffed out. In that case, that's a win, right? That vehicle was graded a little too hard. But contrarily, or contrast that, we've all seen a light scratch that went to the metal, right? That vehicle was, the grade was inflated, right? So take a look at those damage pictures. Make sure you're comfortable with the condition of the vehicle, right? Remove vehicles from your watch list that don't pass your condition report review, right? Remove them, make that list shorter. The next step in the process is to determine the vehicle's value, right? How do you know if you're getting a good deal? How do you know what other dealers have paid for similar vehicles in that geography, right? There's a plethora, a whole host of industry, retail, and wholesale sales data that can aid in your research as you look at what you are comfortable paying for the vehicle and what that vehicle is really valued at. Right? You might find that the vehicle you're looking for is less expensive in another market, right? That's a huge bonus for you by expanding your geographic reach. And like I said, there are many pricing guides to help you make an informed and an intelligent decision, right? From a retail standpoint, you can use a tool like AutoNeek. When you're looking at wholesale prices, great tools like NADA, Black Book, MMR. But I will caution you, the most important tool that you can use is your human intelligence, especially in this digital COVID type environment with social distancing, right? The inventory is changing daily. There's vehicles that are extremely scarce and scarce supply. Pricing is changing on a daily basis. You're going to have to use your gut, use the books, use the tools to inform you and provide a starting point, but use that human intelligence, apply your gut, know what's selling hot in your market, know what's cooling off in your market, right? We all know that books are using data from a couple of weeks ago, and as fast as prices are changing, right? A few weeks ago, those books would have given you a value that was too low and you're paying well above book. At the time of this recording, right, the market's starting to soften a little bit, and you might be able to get vehicles for below book. But these conditions, as you well know, change on a daily basis, right? And then one other thing, some macroeconomic type of information is also available to give you high-level industry trends. CAR uses our proprietary analytics engine to provide insight about marketplace trends. That information is available to anybody on the CAR Global Public website. I might encourage you to take a look at that, again, just to track the macro level industry trends as another input as you set your pricing strategy, right? Which leads to step number 3, decide on your top price, right? Once you've completed your research, you've taken that large data set of vehicles that met your search criteria, you've reviewed the condition report and eliminated a number of vehicles for that smaller list. You've established what you want, the maximum amount you think you want to pay for that. I would encourage you to, once you establish that in your mind, establish an auto bid in the system or a proxy bid on the vehicles, every single vehicle on your watch list. This will help make it easier for you to stick to your buying process. Automate the process as much as possible. All right, I'm going to talk a lot more about proxy bids in a subsequent slide, so bear with me. I'm strongly encouraging you to set a proxy bid on every single vehicle. If you don't want to take that advice, at a minimum, set a proxy bid on all of the sales that you won't likely be actively monitoring. We all know that there are certain lanes that have a large concentration of vehicles that you're interested in that you're going to be devoting most of your attention to. Because of this increased reach, there may be lanes and auctions where there's only onesie-twosie vehicles that you're interested in, and it'll be very difficult for you to, context switch over to them and monitor them, right? And remember, though, that you can set an alert for when that vehicle is approaching the block. So even those lanes where you have proxy bids and you're not actively monitoring and watching them, if an alert pops up, you can quickly switch over as long as it doesn't distract your attention from those primary lanes, right? Set those parameters when you're bidding digitally. Use those proxy bids. It will really, really help you be more successful in acquiring the right vehicles for your inventory. Right, the 4th step is just a reminder, right? One of the biggest advantages of these digital auctions is giving you access to more inventory from more locations, right? Go out beyond your normal comfort zone. Check out the inventory from multiple locations as often as you can. This will give you more opportunities to find the best deals in a shorter time frame. Again, use proxy bids, use alerts as a great way to source vehicles from additional auction locations. The fifth and final factor is transportation. Just really a public service announcement. I know it's a little bit like Captain Obvious, but when vehicles that you're looking for are oftentimes or can be less expensive in other geographies, please remember to factor in the transportation cost, right, which may be higher than what you're used to from sourcing from your local auctions. I know we're going through a lot. I tend to talk a little bit fast, right? I can't read the audience here staring at my webcam, staring at my computer monitor. So I'm going to slow down here on this slide number 9, which is tips for buying digitally. All right, so I'm going to go through a little bit slower. Here are my top tips for how to master the digital auction experience. Tip number 1, right? You're going to not be surprised by this one, but it's set automatic bids. Save time with proxy bids, right? Instead of sitting in front of your screen trying to monitor too many lanes at once, tools like proxy bids allow you to set your bid, forget it, and focus on other key aspects of your business, right? If you want to participate in auctions every day of the week, you don't want to have to be glued to your computer screen in most cases. You can still have that Tuesday sale that you attend and monitor and watch all the way through, or that Thursday sale, whatever your heavy buying day is, right? But take advantage of the geographic reach and set proxy bids on hot vehicles for other days of the week where you're out doing your other responsibilities around the dealership. And here are some tips about proxy bids, right? Or some common myths about proxy myths that I hope to debunk. You know, the first tip is that only you can see your bid amount, right? The auctioneer can't see it, the clerk can't see it, and the rep can't see it. Yes, they know that there's a proxy bid on the vehicle, but they can't see the amount. Which gets to tip number 2. The proxy bid represents the maximum amount that you are willing to pay for the vehicle. Notice I said the maximum amount. The system will not, and again, I'll repeat, will not automatically run you up to your proxy bid, right? What the proxy bid does is it gives you the ability to automatically outbid other bids, right? So it automatically bids on your behalf only if a higher bid comes in up to your maximum, right? So it's just bidding on your behalf. The system won't run you up, right? In fact, if the bidding is very vibrant and gets up to your maximum, you're going to receive an alert when your maximum is met. This puts you back in control. When you receive that alert, you can jump into the sale and finish bidding manually should you want to go higher to acquire or win that vehicle, right? Here's something else that's really important to understand about proxy bids. If there is a negative change to a vehicle's condition, your proxy bid will automatically be canceled, right? Because that vehicle is different than what you bid on, right? So we want to protect you from a negative change to a vehicle's condition. You will receive a notification when this happens, and proxy bids are canceled even if that negative change happens when the vehicle is on the block. So you don't need to be concerned about a negative piece of information coming in and then you getting stuck with a vehicle that you didn't understand the condition of. And the last point I'll leave you with proxy bids is proxy bids are not binding until that vehicle is on the block. At any time before the vehicle is on the block, you are able to change your proxy bid up or down, or flat out remove that proxy bid. And like I mentioned earlier, if your maximum proxy bid is exceeded, you can take over manually and continue that bidding. It really gives you the ultimate flexibility, right? There's no downside in entering a proxy bid, in my opinion, right? So take advantage of them, learn how they work, set the proxy bids to match your pricing and purchasing strategy, and I don't think you'll be disappointed. The second tip is to use those search and filter tools. There are a tremendous amount of features available at your fingertips to make your life easier when it comes to identifying the right vehicles for your auction, right? So figure out and understand all of the search parameters, all of the filters that you can use, and how to optimize them for your particular buying strategy, right? Use those search and search and filter features available to you, right? It saves time and it expands your reach. Once you have the search that you're comfortable with, right, save it to your favorites. That way you don't have to go in and recreate it every time you want to look for vehicles. Just go to your favorite section and execute your favorite searches, right? And convert those search results into your watch list, right? You can take one search and build and tailor it to other searches which are slight variations. Again, the idea is to make your search process more and more efficient. What I've seen is most smaller dealers have a handful of saved searches in the 3 to 5 range. And some of the larger operators that are buying for large stores or a number of stores oftentimes have 20 or more searches. And keep in mind that these searches run on your behalf, right? Find out what works for you, build your own searches, save them for future use. It really takes those tens of thousands of vehicles that are available and culls that list down to only what you're interested in. There's the ability to set up notifications. So when there's new vehicles that become available that match your search criteria, you can get notified. One of my favorite features when I'm first going in is the freeform text search. It's just like Google. You go into the search field, like the Google field, and you just type in natural language what it is you're looking for. The system automatically creates that natural language string of words into search parameters and search filters. And then it'll bring those vehicles up. You can select or deselect some of those search parameters that are auto-created and create your own custom saved search. Right? You can search by seller sales if you've got a particular seller that you're interested in. Right? You can set geographic locations. Right? Set different searches for different geographies. If you're looking for different vehicles in different regions, you found that certain vehicles that you're interested in are available for less money in different regions. Even when factoring in transportation costs, you may want to do a search for that specific vehicle in that specific region. Right? You can search by days of the week. Again, the sky is almost the limit with what you can do with searches, but identify those handful of searches that will help you cull down that list of vehicles that you can be highly successful with at your specific dealership. Tip number 4, simplify that post-sale process. After you've customized your auction experience and finding the vehicles and where you want to participate, ensure that you get a quick and efficient checkout process. Assign your default transportation address. Assign your other transportation parameters. Choose your default payment options. Automating your post-sale process will help you get the inventory that you just purchased to your dealership faster so you're ready to turn a profit. And finally, know the rules. I know this is not a glamorous tip, but it's really important, right? Each platform has a specific set of rules. Like for example, I went through a lot of the rules around proxy bids and auto bids, right? But know the rules for that specific platform, right? Take the time to read the terms and conditions, have a great understanding of how to submit claims and arbitrations, et cetera, right? So that you are an informed and confident buyer. Confidence in your purchases. How do I get more confidence in the purchases that I'm doing digitally, right? So despite all of these fantastic search tools and this increased geographic reach, I know there is still some hesitation as to what is the condition of the vehicle that I just purchased. After all, we've all been burned by bad condition reports. Inspectors are humans. We all make mistakes. Buyers are humans. We all make mistakes. Luckily, the technology, or thankfully, the technology has come a long way in the past few years. We're now utilizing artificial intelligence and extremely advanced tools to give dealers more accurate images, in some cases, even engine recordings and sounds, more consistent condition reports. But I'm really encouraging you, take the time, look at these condition reports, look at the damage images, read the comments, right? Inspect those images, make sure you understand what it is you're purchasing and what it is you're bidding on. And I'd also encourage you to further de-risk your purchase by taking advantage of some of the post-sale products, like a post-sale inspection or a money-back program like ADESA Assurance, right? Give yourself some confidence and peace of mind. I encourage you, jump into this digital buying experience with both feet. Expand your reach, expand your geography, expand your horizons. buy these vehicles digitally, de-risk the process by thoroughly reviewing the condition reports, thoroughly looking at the images, and using and taking advantage of tools like post-sale inspections, ADESA insurance, and so forth. I want to thank everybody. I know we've covered a lot, but thank you for attending. Thank you for listening. I truly hope that you were able to take down some quick and actionable tips to help save you time, help save you money, and help you leverage the digital tools so that your business is one of those that thrives in the digital economy. Feel free to reach out to me directly with questions or comments, and I really look forward to seeing you conquer the digital space today, tomorrow, and into the next decade. Thank you.